Hello, good evening and welcome to News 360, coming to you live from our studio here at Adesawekanda in Accra. I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey.
And I'm Ayisha Yakubu coming up the headlines.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal,
EcoBank.
President Mahama posthumously promotes 3 Air Force personnel killed in helicopter crash as remaining 6 victims of the helicopter crash are buried.
Meanwhile, mother of a boy whose mobility surgery was funded by Dr. Omaneboama attends his funeral to show appreciation for saving her son.
Also coming up, government imposes daily fine of 10,000 cedis on DSTV for failure to submit pricing data.
And in business, as Ghana bids farewell to 8 fallen heroes, chief economist warns nation cannot afford to lose more of its economic brains to illegal mining.
And in international news, U.S. President Donald Trump says he won't be happy if a ceasefire is not agreed during his talks on the Ukraine war with Putin.
We're live around the world on 3news.com. We're also streaming on Facebook, and we would love to hear from you on the many stories we have for you tonight.
Final funeral rites have been held for the 8 individuals who lost their lives in a tragic helicopter crash last Wednesday. Their funeral, held at the Black Star Square, was a somber occasion that brought together mourners from all walks of life. Judith Brown reports.
The Black Star Square was filled to capacity as mourners gathered to bid farewell to the 8 gallant men who lost their lives in the helicopter crash. The atmosphere heavy with grief as friends, family and well-wishers came together to bid a final farewell to the departed souls. Many faces etched with sorrow, remembering their contributions and cherishing the memories they left behind. Or widows of the deceased overcome with emotion as they reminisce about their husbands. And a heart-wrenching display of grief that describe the pain of losing their loved ones and the impact it will have on their lives.
My heart aches beyond words, thinking of not seeing your beautiful receptionist smile, as you called it, or hearing you call me Manye 100 times in a day. You gave me the experience of being deeply understood, genuinely supported, and utterly loved. You often said, Manye, I'll give us a life that many people would wish to be in your shoes. Anche, these shoes you've put on me, no one wishes to wear.
I expected you to stay for at least a month to help settle into our new reality. But for the love you had for our country, you had only just a week to spend with us. Before you left, we held you back for an extra week because she wasn't feeling well. Now I know why she was holding you back from returning to Ghana. God, what am I going to tell her in a few years when she starts asking for her father?
Only we know the depth of what we experienced. Mane, what is this grief? And what am I supposed to do with it? Mane, what do I do without you? And how do I carry on from here? You were truly your name to me. You were my best friend.
Vice President Jane Nano Pokwajiman paid tribute to the lives of the deceased, describing them as dedicated public servants who gave their lives in service to the nation.
My colleagues, I wish all of you peaceful rest. I thank each one of you for your examples of selflessness, commitment to duty, and your abiding belief in the ability of our country to be better for all of us.
Over President John Dramani Mahama, he reiterated government's decision to secure the futures of those left behind.
Grief can sometimes leave us feeling helpless and disempowered, but we're far from that. So it is with all this in mind that I would like today to announce the government's decisions to honor the service of these individuals and secure the futures of those they left behind. I have approved the following. Squadron Leader Peter Bafemi Anala is promoted to the rank of Wing Commander. Flying Officer Manan Chum Ampedu is promoted to the rank of Flight Lieutenant. Sergeant Ernest Adomensa is promoted to the rank of Flight Sergeant.
Indeed, it was a somber atmosphere as mourners paid their final respects to the deceased. But this may serve as a stark reminder that life is fleeting and no one is promised tomorrow. May their souls rest in perfect peace. Judith Brown, TV3 News.
As she went to the Black Star Square quietly, away from the spotlight, a mother was full of gratitude while grieving. The late Dr. Omane Boama paid for the surgery of her son, whose life was not predicted. Christian Yali tells her story and other mourners who sounded the legacy of fallen heroes.
She stood among the mourners with no titles, no convoy, no cameras, but just a grateful heart. Her son, who had a deformity, was saved through the benevolence of the late Defense Minister, Dr. Edward Omane Boama. The boy's leg is amputated and he will soon be due for a prosthetic surgery.
My son, Seto Midoji, he paid for his hospital bills. So when I heard about his death, it pains me a lot because a person I never meet, I never know, and he can do all this for my son. It's not easy. What I have for him is may his soul rest in perfect peace.
The call was like, this is Dr. Omane Boama. So beginning I thought even it was a fraud or something, but later on he sent us money to bring the boy to the hospital so that they can take the process on. He paid the surgery on Monday. The Tuesday, the surgery was done. And then on the Wednesday, he was involved in a plane crash.
President Mahama, in his speech at the funeral service, mentioned this child.
Sometimes we even pay for the medical cost of children who are complete strangers to us. And that is what Dr. Omane Boama did when he pledged to pay for surgery for Seto, a physically disabled 9-year-old boy, so that he would no longer be reliant on the wheelchair that he had been using to get around. After fully paying for the surgery, Omane could have continued with his own affairs and not giving another thought to the boy or his situation.
Stories unfolded, strangers embraced, some wept for these fallen men they had never met.
At the personal level, I might not have really engaged most of those who were dead that much, but you see, they were public figures, and the pain of their loss probably would not be different from someone who is even direct family, especially looking at how tragic you wouldn't even wish that for your enemy, you know.
And we believe that while we are here to send a signal to everybody, to mourn with everybody, and let them know that this thing that has happened should teach us a very bitter lesson.
I haven't really had any personal encounter with them, but yeah, I bear in their soul with them.
We should, draw a lesson from this funeral. We should all come together, fight as one body to see the brighter future of our nation. The politics and those things, the divisive, the tribalism and the religious trouble is not helping any of us.
Beyond the tributes, security was tight, mounted patrols and drones in quiet surveillance.
These 8 have departed in glory, in full honor, and all the dignity that they deserve. Their lives, the legacies, and those that they touched continue to live on. Christian Yali, TV3 News, Accra.
Also, current and former leaders of the National Union of Ghana Students NUGS on Thursday evening held a candlelight walk to honor the memory of Dr. Edward Omane-Boamah and Alhaji Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed.
National Union of Ghana Students NUGS, together with past student leaders, gathered for a solemn candlelight walk in memory of Dr. Omane-Boamah, Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, and 6 others. The walk began at the University of Ghana Gate and ended at the UPSA Auditorium West Wing. Dr. Omane-Boamah and Dr. Murtala Mohammed, both former student leaders, were celebrated for their tireless contribution to youth development, education, and national progress. President of the National Union of Ghana Students, Daniel Kole Bochwe, spoke with the media.
Dr. Kofi Omane-Boamah was a former NUGS president of the National Union of Ghana Students. We had Dr. Murtala Mohammed. He also was a former student leader with the University Students Association of Ghana, with the All African Students Union, a former general secretary. And he was also a former TAG executive. And these are leaders who died in the line of duty. Before they became national politicians, they were once student leaders, and they led these various student fronts with all their might, and they served diligently. With all the unfortunate incidents that have happened, we believe that it beckons on us to honor their memories.
He emphasized the need to introduce a scholarship scheme in honor of Dr. Omane-Boamah, Dr. Murtala Mohammed, and Alhaji Muniru, who were vibrant and outspoken during their leadership days in school.
I believe that it is a welcome suggestion that I will have to consider with my leadership team, and we can put in place a scholarship that we are going to put their names on to support needy and brilliant people. I think it's a very welcoming suggestion, and we'll look into it.
Meanwhile, former finance minister and member of parliament for Karaga, Mohammed Amin Adam, said the souls of the departed would be happy if illegal mining is brought to an end.
The best honor we can give to them, and many people have said this, is to bring Galamsey to an end. That will be the greatest legacy, the greatest honor. You know, they died in the course of duty relating to the fight against Galamsey, and that for me will be the greatest honor. We can build monuments, we can build, various structures in their names. They will not be happy about all those. What will make them happy where they are is to hear, if at all they can hear, that we have ended Galamsey.
All the 8 victims of the helicopter crash have since been buried.
Let's turn our attention to some more news this evening. The Bolgatanga Technical Institute in the Upper East region has been closed indefinitely following a violent student protest in the early hours of Friday. The unrest, which erupted around 12:30 a.m., left 6 students injured and caused extensive damage to school property, including the burning of the library and the senior housemaster's office. Sources say the chaos was triggered by the suspension of 6 students for alleged misconduct. In an apparent act of retaliation, their colleagues reportedly launched a coordinated attack on the school late Thursday night. Police and fire service teams were quickly deployed to restore order and douse the flames. The injured are currently receiving treatment at the Upper East Regional Hospital. The Regional Security Council ordered the school's closure to help calm tensions and aid ongoing investigations. Meanwhile, police are looking for the 6 students believed to have played a key role in the violence. Let's go on to Zoom 9 for some more on this. Castro Senyala is our Upper East reporter and joins me. Castro, good evening. What more can you tell us about the events that led up to this protest? Was there any power tension on campus that escalated?
Right. So regarding information, having to do with today's incident, school authorities are quite, not ready to talk now because the tensions are high. But we understand that the students were, withdrawn or suspended from the school for various acts of misconduct that go against the school rules and regulations. And so what it meant was that their colleagues there who are part of a clique of students there were not happy and reorganized themselves, invited their colleagues over, and that happened. And so authorities say they are investigating, assisting with the police to do the investigations. And so they wouldn't want to talk much, but what they can say is that the suspension of their colleagues is what triggered the protest, because obviously their colleagues were not happy about the decision of the school management.
So, Castro, what you are saying is that we don't know what specific misconduct led to the suspension of the 6 students in the first place.
Right, but we understand that the students did something that went contrary to the rules and regulations of the school, and then they were suspended. But as to what they did exactly, that has yet to come to the attention of the media, because the school authorities, sources within there who have been trying to speak with, say that they wouldn't want to talk much because the police are currently investigating, and they don't want to put out statements that would go contrary to narratives that they have.
Do we also have any updates on the 6 that the police are looking for?
Yes, as I speak now, the latest I'm getting from sources within the police is that one of the suspects, has been picked up by the police and is currently assisting police to the investigations. But the rest of the 5 that are suspected to be behind the burning and, in fact, leading the student protests are still at large. I am in constant touch with police sources who tell me that the police are not letting this matter rest easily at all, because there have been a lot of student protests, and violent ones for that matter. And this time around, they want to contain the situation in a diplomatic way, yet very effectively, so that some of these things don't occur in the coming days.
Right. Castro, we'll be looking forward to more updates in subsequent bulletins. Thank you very much for those updates. Castro Senyala is our Upper East Regional Correspondent there.
Still on education-related matters, bullying in Ghana's senior high schools continue to affect the safety of students and their mental well-being. Educators say the problem is growing, and so are the calls for change. Ayisha has more on this report.
In Ghana's senior high schools, the sound of laughter often fills the air. But for some students, these hallways are not safe. They are where fear begins. Bullying is not new, but its emotional and academic scars can last longer after graduation. The Ghana Education Service reported a 16% increase in student-related disciplinary cases in 2023 compared to 2020. To help address the menace, the Ghana Education Service is partnering with African Health Promotion Organization to tackle it head-on. Regional Guidance and Counseling Coordinator Love Amponsa says the initiative aligns with Ghana's broader educational mission.
You know that when we say bullying, it comprises a lot of things: psychosocial, academic, mental, physical, and so on and so forth. So with this initiative, the fact that we have these peers to be able to lead their colleagues, you realize that they understand them better. They can share their experiences better. Whatever they face at home, they can bring it on board. You understand? But when me, or let's say I, a teacher, I ask some of these issues, they wouldn't be able to tell me in detail. You understand? But they can discuss it among themselves, because they have topics that they have to discuss. So as they discuss, you see, I believe strongly that most of them will be having this kind of reformation, change of heart, change of mind.
For African Health Promotion Organization, the focus is action. Executive Director Kisses Ahoto says the rollout is already reaching schools and making a real impact.
As about sustainability of programs, we are looking at largely leadership and participation. In here, the framework we have put together allows the school to lead, and so they are developing their own activities and thereby leading the process in that regard. And one of the key innovations is that we are not only interested in school leaders in leading this intervention, we have also inculcated some bully perpetrators who are part of the team to lead this initiative.
A student, Blankson, shared how important it is to curb bullying in schools.
I feel safe in supporting people who get bullied because personally,
I don't like it when other people are bullied. There was a case somewhere where there was, some time ago, where there was a sexual harassment issue. And then the girl who was the victim found it very difficult to report because the boy, which was the culprit, was, someone of high status on campus. But then I had to stand in because, if I don't, who will?
For both the Ghana Education Service and African HPO, the goal is clear. Every senior high school should be a place where learning thrives and bullying has no place.
Away from education, Ghana's cocoa yields are set to decline further if efforts to protect the sector are not intensified. In response, state regulators are stepping up measures to prevent farmers from ceding their cocoa farms to illegal miners. Deputy Managing Director of Finance and Administration at PBC Limited and convener of the Coalition for Cocoa Sector Reforms, Thomas Ayisha, has warned that Ghana's economic fortunes could be severely impacted if decisive action is delayed. Here's a report by Stanley Nibleo.
Agriculture, largely driven by the cocoa sector, was once Ghana's highest contributor to gross domestic product. But that narrative shifted following the sharp decline in cocoa yields, largely attributed to the vast and reckless destruction of cocoa farms by illegal mining activities. Successive governments have over the years supported cocoa farmers through various initiatives aimed at boosting production, improving livelihoods, and ensuring the sustainability of the cocoa industry. These include providing subsidized inputs like fertilizers and seedlings, implementing pension schemes, rehabilitating old farms, spraying, and stabilizing cocoa prices. However, information on total government expenditure on the cocoa sector over the years remains fragmented and difficult to assess in a single comprehensive document. The continued spread of illegal mining, coupled with the recent marginal increase in cocoa producer prices announced by the Ministry of Finance, has angered some farmers, prompting them to sell their cocoa farms to illegal miners for quick cash. Last year, a cocoa farmer in the Ashanti region ceded his farm to illegal miners, a decision he openly defended.
Government can never stop galamsey in this Ghana at all. I have a gold, I have plenty money in my pocket, so I don't mind cocoa. Look, I'm now cutting it off, you see. It is my own bonafide property. Nobody can stop me to stop cutting my own cocoa tree. You plant it for me? Plant it for you, food and job. Am I involved?
Similarly, in a widely circulated amateur social media video, a man is seen happily felling fruit-bearing cocoa trees to make way for illegal mining, claiming the farmer had lost interest in cocoa cultivation. This trend has triggered alarm among stakeholders in the cocoa sector, who are calling on urgent and decisive state intervention.
Until recently, where we had oil and gold, cocoa has been the mainstay of Ghana's economy, employing millions of people, direct and indirectly. So cocoa can be dependent on for the next foreseeable future. That cannot be said about the other resources. And that's how come we have to pay very much attention to cocoa. If we are not careful about the terrain that we are taking our cocoa, we are not careful about the dwindling volumes of cocoa in Ghana, then in the long run, there will be nothing to lean on.
For him, cash crop trees such as cocoa cannot be cut without prior consultation and approval from the government.
If government is putting investment into cocoa farming, then nobody should be allowed to cut down cocoa trees for anything.
On the cocoa price controversy, Chief Executive Officer of Cocoa Board, Dr. Randy Abe, maintains that the price of bag paid to farmers is reflective of prevailing market condition.
There is a manifesto of the NDC. The President of the Republic himself as a candidate spoke, and he's been speaking as president. What he's been talking about is exactly what has been done.
If the current tide of cocoa farm destruction is not stemmed, Ghana risks losing not just a vital foreign exchange earner, but a critical pillar of its agricultural heritage. Stanley Nibleu, TV3 News, Accra.
Let's go to one of our headline stories we have for you this evening. The Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations has begun imposing a statutory fine of 10,000 Ghana cedis daily on MultiChoice Ghana, operators of DSTV, for failing to submit key pricing data requested under the Electronic Communications Act. The sanction, which took effect from today, was announced by Sector Minister Samuel Nate George during a meeting with DSTV officials at the ministry. According to the minister, MultiChoice Ghana was asked to provide a detailed breakdown of its subscription pricing, including bouquet structures, applicable taxes, and comparative pricing across at least 6 other African countries. The request, made under the Electronic Communication Act, was intended to support a review of DSTV subscription fees in Ghana with the aim of making services more affordable to consumers. The minister further warned that DSTV's operating license could be suspended if a price reduction is not achieved by September 6, 2025, citing the company's ongoing refusal to commit to lowering fees despite stakeholder engagement and government proposals.
You're watching News 360 live here on TV3. It's now time to bring you some business news. Do stay with us.
I love President Charcoal. Why? When there are so many other charcoal toothpaste. That's both charcoal and lemon. Oh, does it? Yes. Look right here.
Yes. Pepsodent Charcoal has 2 of nature's powerful whitening ingredients. With the power of activated charcoal and lemon essence, it removes stains and whitens teeth naturally.
Convinced? Well, I am. Just look at your beautiful Pepsodent
Reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle.
From the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital.
From the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom.
Reporting from Sunyani.
From the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds. The moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news.
The business segment is brought to you by MTN. Touch concentrated perfume.
Hello, good evening. It's time now for business on News360, and I am Menu Aful. The Institute of Chartered Economists Ghana is urging government to intensify the fight against illegal mining as the most fitting tribute to the 8 heroes who lost their lives in a recent helicopter crash. These individuals were actively involved in the anti-Galamsey campaign and, according to the ICEG, were valuable contributors to the nation's economic growth.
The Institute of Chartered Economists Ghana, ISEG's call comes amid widespread grief and concern for the families left behind. Chief Economist at ISEG, Gideon Emisa, argues that the nation cannot afford to lose more of its economic brains to this destructive activity.
Yes, it's very, very pathetic and a very, very sad moment for Ghana, especially with the reason that these our heroes were actually contributing to economic growth of the country with the view of fighting Galamsey.
While acknowledging the importance of a state burial, ISEG emphasizes that the most meaningful legacy for these fallen heroes would be a strong, unwavering political will to eradicate illegal mining once and for all.
So we call on government to give these heroes, apart from giving them state barrier, the best legacy that we think that we can give to these people is to take the Galamsey fight serious and put in all the political will that we have, so that if we have anything to remember these ones, we can say that it was when these people lost their lives that Galamsey became a thing of the past in our country.
According to the Institute of Chartered Economists Ghana, this would honor their sacrifice and protect the country's long-term economic prospects.
Away from that, petrol and liquefied petroleum gas prices are expected to rise from August 16, while diesel will see a slight decline. Executive Director of Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, Benjamin Isia, explains.
If you take petrol on the international market, there was an upward adjustment of about 2% of the price of the product comparing this window to the coming window. And that reflexively must also reflect at the pump, whereby at least even if the exchange rate remains constant, there must be an upward adjustment of about 2% on the price of petrol locally. If you take LPG, there's also an upward adjustment on the international market by about 3%. So even if you hold the exchange rate, which is a macroeconomic indicator, constant, it also means that LPG must also be adjusted upwards by 3% reflectively. But unfortunately for the petroleum user, which is the users of petrol and LPG, the cedi also depreciated. So these products are getting their prices increased because of one, cedi depreciation, which is about 0.36%, and also the price of the products on the international market.
And now the World Bank says Ghana is struggling to create enough quality jobs because key industries like manufacturing and services are not growing fast enough to hire more workers. It warns that it's pushing many people into low-paying work with little chance for advancement.
The World Bank is warning that Ghana's job market is not keeping up with the needs of its people. In its latest economic report, the bank said as many Ghanaians are being pushed into low-pay, low-skill work industries like manufacturing and services, which usually offer better pay and not expanding quickly enough to create more jobs. The report points out that over a decade, Ghana's economy has not changed much, with agriculture still employing a large number of people. But farming often does not bring in enough income or productivity to help workers build a stable future. World Bank says the slow growth of the private sector is partly due to tough business regulations, trade restrictions, and problems that discard road and utilities and add more value to products in farming and industry. According to the bank, these steps could help create better paying jobs and give more Ghanaians a chance. At a decent living.
Let's now take a look at what's happening on the forex and commodities market. And that's it for Business Tonight on News 360. I am Menu Afo. Stay with us. We have more news coming up for you.
Reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle.
From the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital.
From the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom.
Reporting from Sunyani. From the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds. The moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news you can trust, impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our mission. This is 3 News, leaders in breaking news, exclusive interviews, facts and analysis on TV, radio, online and digital. 3 News, first in news.
white spray and coil.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Bill Ishen. Now, with the new European season up and running, former Black Stars forward Lai Kingston has hailed Bournemouth attacker Antoine Semenyo as the best Ghanaian player in Europe. Now, Lai's comments come after Semenyo enjoyed a standout campaign with Bournemouth last term, scoring a career-high 11 league goals.
For me, for some time now, Semenyo has been our best player for Ghana. He's been our best player. I was a little bit worried about him because of the way we use him in our national team, because sometimes we don't give him that kind of freedom to operate the way he was doing in his club. You can see he's been very consistent with his club. Bournemouth last season is their best player in the Premier League. But when you watch Semenyo, the way Bournemouth is using him and is giving them results, when it comes to the national team, I think they restrict him from doing what he can do. You know, so for me, he's been our best players in the Premier League, and then in Europe as a whole, he did so well, more than any other Ghanaian player in Europe.
Moving on to some other stories, Mohamed Kudus made a switch from West Ham to Champions League outfit Tottenham Hotspur, sparking anger among Hammers supporters in Europe. Now, West Ham supporters now have to watch the Ghanaian midfielder compete in the white shirt of the North London side. My colleague Rabbi Edueje talked to Hammers Ghana to find out how they are adjusting to life without Mohamed Kudus.
We wanted to play at the highest level. How big the club is, the history, and the Champions League as well. So it's a big moment.
Mohamed Kudus in recent days has been dazzling in the Tottenham Hotspur kit after completing a £55 million move from West Ham United. The 25-year-old was a crown jewel for the Hammers after joining them in 2023, providing eye-catching performances over 2 seasons. His presence at the London club gave Hammers Ghana fans immense joy.
Signing Kudus has marketed Ghana a lot. Not only even in London, in any part of UK, we could see that the star boy. Look at that stool. It's a benchmark now. And then the celebration that he went to the touchline sometimes sat on advertisement board. Ghana copied it. It went well wide, you understand. And it has also made us a great time to also brought in a Ghanaian Hammers merchandise. They was buying it to the stadium. Even our Ghanaian Hammers flag. There was a time that people were purchasing it online from us. So like we ourselves has also made, let me just say, a good name to ourselves through Kudus.
When his exit was confirmed, fans abroad burnt his jerseys, branding him Judas for his perceived disloyalty. But the Ghanaian midfielder had his reasons. Despite moving to a rival team, Hammers Ghana faithful believe his performances with the club has paved the way for Ghanaian players to feature at the London Stadium in the next few years.
In the future, we know they're looking at also considering Ghana as a hub of talent through what Kudus has done for the club.
The former Ajax midfielder spent 2 seasons at the London Stadium, scoring 19 goals and providing 13 assists in 80 matches. One of his standout performances was his solo goal in the Europa League, which earned him the Goal of the Tournament award. By this campaign, Kudus' focus would be to make an impact with the Lily Whites. That was a report by my colleague Rabbi Edueje. But the Premier League football and football in Europe is officially back, and currently Liverpool lead Bournemouth by a 1-0 thanks to a strike by Hugo Ekitike. And here are some other results happening at the moment. Rennes currently drawing 0-0 with Marseille. We have Girona, who have lost by 3-1 to Rayo, and also Villarreal are currently locked in a 0-0 draw with Real Oviedo, a newly promoted La Liga side. That's it for the sports segments here on News 360. My name is Bill Ishen.
reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle.
From the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital.
From the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom.
Reporting from Sunyani. From the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds. The moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news you can trust. Impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our mission. This is 3 News. Leaders in breaking news, exclusive interviews, facts and analysis on TV, radio, online and digital. 3 News, first in news.
Lifestyle and Napa Foods. Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil. Powered by 3 Entertainment.
Good evening and welcome to the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, award-winning playwright Lateef Abubakar thrilled theatre lovers with his latest play, Simajole. The play is richly infused with the rhythms, language, and the symbolism of the Ga people, offering an authentic cultural experience.
Following his recent successful international collaborations with Spain and Italy, acclaimed Ghanaian playwright Lateef Abubakar continues to push boundaries in projecting Ghana's theatrical talent onto the global stage. His latest partnership with the Korean Embassy in Ghana serves as a cultural bridge between the two nations. Filled to capacity, the AICC was lit with excitement as the cast did their own thing on stage. Simajole features a distinguished cast that includes Ghanaian screen veterans like Fred Amugi, Jackie Ankra and Kofi Yeboah. The play is richly infused with the rhythms, language and symbolism of the Ga people, offering an authentic cultural experience.
It was exciting. It blew the mind of people. We as organizers are very happy because we achieved 3 things: the quality of the production, the audience were excited and happy about the end result, and then we had a full house.
To Lateef Abubakar, this project presents a significant opportunity to spotlight Ghana's creative economy and showcase its vibrant talents on an international platform.
We hope to be able to move more thousands of people to come and watch theater. We hope to be able to run the productions for a week where all days and shows will be packed. That is the dream. That is what we are fighting for. We want the audience psyche with regards to theater in Ghana should be more. People should feel it. People should be willing to move to the theaters day in, day out to experience productions. That is the biggest dream.
And before we go, I'd like to remind you to stay tuned to TV3 for the amazing shows we have for you this weekend, including Ghana's Most Beautiful, which comes to you live at 8 p.m. on Sunday on TV3. Make sure you're voting for your favorite so they don't get evicted. That's it for the entertainment news segment here. My name is Noella Donko.
Let's now bring you international news.
U.S. President Donald Trump says he won't be happy if a ceasefire is not agreed during his talks on the Ukraine war with Vladimir Putin. The U.S. and Russian presidents' meeting is expected to start at 11:30 local time. The Kremlin says the talks could last up to 7 hours. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who is not invited to the summit, says Ukraine is counting on America and there is no indication Russia is preparing to end the war. Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, with tens of thousands of soldiers killed on both sides. South Africa's army chief has been criticized after he reportedly pledged military and political support to Iran during a recent visit to the country. Members of South Africa's governing coalition have accused General Rujani Mapwanya of reckless grandstanding, while President Cyril Ramaphosa confirmed he would meet the general to discuss his ill-advised trip. The role comes as South Africa navigates tense relations with the U.S., which has taken exception to the country's ties with Iran, among other issues. The Democratic Alliance, part of South Africa government, called for General Mapwanya to be court-martialed. It says his comment had gone beyond military-to-military discussions and entered the realm of foreign policy. Global talks to develop a landmark treaty to end plastic pollution have once again failed. The UN negotiations, the sixth round of talks in just under 3 years, were due to end on Thursday, but countries continue to negotiate into the night in the hopes of breaking a deadlock. There remains a split between a group of about 100 nations calling for curbs on production of plastic and oil states pushing for a focus on recycling. The talks were convened in 2022 in response to the mounting scientific evidence of the risks of plastic pollution to human health and the environment. Despite the benefits of plastic to almost every sector, scientists are particularly concerned about potentially toxic chemicals they contain, which can leach out as a plastics break down into smaller pieces. Microplastics have been detected in soils, rivers, the air, and even organs throughout the human body.
And that's how we bring the bulletin to an end. And just an update on the international news we brought to you. As this very moment as we speak, the U.S. President Donald Trump has actually met with Russian President Vladimir Putin, and the talks are ongoing right this minute. So hopefully by 10 p.m. when Alfredo Kanse comes your way with Ghana tonight, we'll get to have a fair idea whether or not peace will be returning to Ukraine. That's it. My name is Martin Asiedu-Dartey.
And I'm Ayisha Yakubu. Enjoy your weekend.